So y'all know that I have been reading this book, We Do Not Care by Melanie Sanders. And it's I'm only look, in 2 days I'm halfway through, but it's just fascinating to me because I didn't even know a lot of these. So you see that? You see how I'm itching my ear? That's part of perimenopause. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I learned that from someone, and then I read it in this book, and I'm like, it's a whole thing. I knew some of what I was experiencing was perimenopause, but it's all of it. And I I am surprised that women actually survive perimenopause, because when it feels like everything is falling apart, and by everything, I mean everything, and to have it be so, oh my God, there is a tiny, and it's not a hummingbird, but that little bird is like this big. I can't show you because it wouldn't, it's in the palm tree and they wouldn't be able to see it, but it's such a disgrace, honestly, that women are so misdiagnosed and understudied in the healthcare system. But given what is happening in the healthcare system, I can't say that I'm surprised. That doesn't make it right. And certainly women of color have it so much worse. It's just not, it's not okay, but the only way. And here's what's interesting. And I'm like, as I'm reading in the book, we're not actually having a conversation, but as I'm reading in the book, the medical field is not only has almost no training on menopause, but on perimenopause, it's almost like the medical field doesn't even know that it exists. And I can say that with certainty because the doctor I was going to a couple years ago, I thought she was great. She was a great gynecologist, certainly younger than me, childbearing years. And I would go in, and she had me do like 2 sonograms, found some fibroids. But every time I gave her my symptoms, she's like, well, you're not in perimenopause. You're not in perimenopause. And once I had, what was it, like 28 days straight of intense bleeding, it was actually before that I changed doctors. I was like, this is not, I don't care what you think my blood work says. And I found another doctor who was like, yes, of course, let's fix this. Let's help you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to one of my friends who recommended this and recommended her. But also going back to the first doctor I went to here, she actually trains up and coming doctors. So this woman who can't even recognize that I'm giving her these intense, I'm not just like, yeah, I don't feel right. I'm telling her my periods, I'm in pain, I'm in mental anguish. And she's like, well, you're not in perimenopause. And she's training the doctors, she's training the young ones, she's training the new ones coming up. So that doesn't give me a lot of hope. And so I think it's really important. Gen Z, Gen Alpha, y'all need to be learning this shit now, because by the time you get to 35, you're going to need to know this stuff, and you're going to need to be demanding from doctors that not only they research and learn and educate themselves, but especially if you're going into medical school, especially if you're a woman, oh my God, you have got to start insisting that this stuff gets covered, because you're going to need and want the support. Thank goodness you have the internet and you have us talking about it more than our parents did, because my mom certainly did not tell me anything about what she was going through. And looking back, I can, it makes sense. It makes sense the times that she was in tears when she was so stressed. a lot of it makes sense. A lot of it makes sense, and how much she suffered. Oh God, and how much she suffered. And I had no support. The doctor that performed her hysterectomy, and she ended up getting a hysterectomy because she had the same symptoms that I had. She had insane periods that were so, and when I talk about insane periods, I'm talking about where I would be bleeding so heavily that I would use a Super Plus tampon, teach a class, and in that time I would have bled through the tampon, through my clothes, and I would have to finish. After a 45-minute class, I would have to go into the locker room, change everything, and with a pad and everything. I had Super Plus a panty liner, and I would bleed through everything and have it going down my legs. That's how heavy the periods were. So we're not talking about, oh, I used one super tampon today. We're talking I used 10 super plus tampons and bled through each of them. So that's fucking intense, y'all. And some of you know exactly what that is, but that's why my mom got a hysterectomy, because she was having those periods. And I know that other women, that's the decision they make too. I would never say that it's right or wrong, because you have to make those decisions for yourself. However, in knowing what I know now, I'm not certain. Well, I have some ideas of why my periods stopped and why it's managed now, but I know for certain that one was that I found the doctor that supported me in my symptoms and gave me, and I'm fine getting HRT because I don't have any history of breast cancer, and if you do, that's a whole nother layer of decisions that you have to make about what is right for you. And this is also where doctors and research need to look for other ways. I'm gonna look at myself in editing, and I'm gonna get caught up in all of my wrinkles and all of my everything in my hair, because I haven't showered yet today. I'm having a lazy day off. But anyways, yeah, I just think about our mothers and the support they didn't have. And if I think I started late-ish for most people. I probably started having perimenopause symptoms. Well, actually, it might be earlier. It might be in my early 40s. So it could be that I've been showing symptoms for 15 years. So that puts the 5 to 10 year rule. Anyways, but most definitely I have been having the worst of my symptoms since I've been 50 and up. So, yeah, I really feel for the women who went before us, who went through this quietly, without support, and certainly our parents, because my mom was of that generation that they discovered HRT and they were giving it to everybody, and then they discovered it caused cancer, so then they said, no, pull it all back, don't use it, and now they're finally saying, well, maybe it does help and we just have to find the right dose. So I'm about to change my dosages, so we'll see if that helps, because yeah, I've been having this breakdown. What is my saving grace for this period where my brain feels like it's barely functioning? It's wild because at home I feel like most of the time I feel like my brain barely functions, but then there's a moment where I get clarity, and that feels really good. And I feel like that's the silver lining, I guess. But I totally lost my train of thought. So there you go. Another example. I have no idea where I was going with it. We got to support each other. We have to support each other so that we can also support the young women coming up and the women who have gone before us, who are now postmenopausal, but likely feeling a lot of the same stuff. Then, oh no, I was gonna tell you what's helped me. Okay, so what has helped me and supported me, one is tapping. I have been consistently tapping most days. I will say that there's probably been a day here and there that I missed tapping, but tapping has helped. It helps me release the rage and the anger and the frustration and the tears. And I've been meditating when I wake up. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning. Usually I wake up somewhere between 1 and 4, but I think that's very normal. And instead of just feeling like I'm wide awake and not doing anything about it, I put this in my other video, that I will do a Dispenza meditation. They're like an hour long. And if I am meditating, great. If I end up falling asleep, I fall asleep, and there you go. I get some more time sleeping. So the meditation, I know, has helped. Having a doctor that actually responds and helps. Yeah. And also yoga. I have not been able to take as many classes as I want because I'm still recovering from hernia surgery, but I took a class. I've only been able to take 2 classes so far. I'm going to work on taking more this week, but still modifying. But I'm telling you, and yoga isn't just about the poses that you see on Instagram. It's about the breath work, and it's about the breath work with the movement. And because I also do hot yoga, I do think that hot yoga has helped me minimize my hot flashes, because I am sweating all the time. And I don't get hot flashes when I'm teaching. I typically don't. So I don't know. I can't do cold plunges. I'm not willing to go into water that's anywhere near as cold as what they do in cold plunges. Kudos to those of you who do. It's not for me. What else? Honestly, taking these moments, like right now, Saturday morning, my day off, to pause, to read books, to shop online. I'm not buying anything, but I am shopping, and I love looking around. I am changing the colors of my wardrobe, so over time, I'm going with lavender and reds and pinks, because as you can see, I love pink. All right. Lots of love, everybody. Take good care of yourselves. Mwah.